Okay, we are live.
Okay, thank you. It is now 7:33, and I would like to call to order the December 8th, 2020 regular meeting of the Common Council. If you would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, if you would please read the announcement and call the roll.
This meeting is being recorded for rebroadcast. We ask everyone to speak clearly one at a time. Please state your name when called upon by the presiding chair. Members of the public can access this meeting by telephone, Zoom, and/or the City of Norwalk YouTube channel. Mr. Burnett.
Present.
Ms. Johnson.
Present.
Mr. Langella.
Present.
Mr. Sacchinelli.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Huvelman.
Present.
Mr. Roberts.
Present.
Ms. Rebolis.
Here.
Ms. Young.
Here.
Mr. Kides. Mr. Theodoridis.
Here.
Mr. Keegan.
Here.
Mr. Sirenides.
Here.
Mr. Livingston.
Here.
Ms. Shanahan.
Here.
15 present, you have a quorum.
We have a quorum, thank you. Next item on the agenda, the acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 24th, 2020. Do I have a motion? Motion from Ms. Shanahan. Do I have any corrections, deletions, omissions, additions? Seeing none or hearing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, special meeting, approval of the or acceptance of the minutes of the special meeting of November 30th, 2020. Do I have a motion? Mr. Hoovelman. Any corrections, deletions, additions, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
No,
sorry?
abstention. I wasn't present.
Okay,
Abstention.
Ms. Revolou she has abstained. I'm sorry, were there any other abstentions? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, public participation. Mr. Manzi, do we have any people signed up to address the council?
Yes, we have. I also see Brian Candela under attendees. I don't, Brian, if you'd like to speak or come over as a panelist, I don't know if he raise your hand electronically, but yes, we have someone by the name of Mr. Wall Street. Your hand is raised. I've unmuted you. You can unmute.
Hey, hi. Oh,
Would
shoot.
you please identify yourself with your name and
Yes,
address?
this is Jason Milligan. Sorry, that auto filled.
Okay, Mr. Milligan.
Yes, good evening.
Ms. King, would you do the timing, please?
I'm going to definitely come under today, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
So,
Mr. Milligan.
I sent a letter to you all today. I'm going to give you the abbreviated version. Lawsuits are expensive and take a long time. Rarely do they benefit the taxpayers of Norwalk. The lawsuits benefit a few large firms. 2.5 years ago, Mario sued me. To date, approximately $1 million have been spent on that lawsuit, spent by Norwalk's taxpayers, but earned by attorneys. Tonight, an executive session, you will be asked to approve a very minor agreement about the collection of evidence in that lawsuit. You also likely be told that you're winning because you won one motion this week out of 200 motions that have happened in the last 2.5 years. But remember, this is all just preliminary bickering. Last Friday, the new judge in our case set a trial date, wait for it, February 2022. That's the soonest. Forget about if COVID shutdowns or other things come up during that. So that would be the soonest. Fighting this in court guarantees that the Tyvek Temple remains another few years standing just as is. McClutchy still has to get the 20 or 30 million in tax credits approved before he even starts the project. The tax credits don't get approved until all entitlements are granted and there's no litigation. Ask yourselves a couple of questions. What exactly do you or the taxpayers have to show for the $1 million and the 2.5 years? Do you even know what the main goal of the lawsuit is? Probably not. The lawsuit actually says if the public parties could boil down their ultimate goal in one sentence, it would be to quit claim the 5 properties that I bought back to Richard Olson's insolvent company so that the city can then sue Olson for specific performance to build the other POCO phases 2 and 3. Then what? How ridiculous is that? That's the ultimate goal after the trial that starts a 1.5 years from now. The people of Norwalk want you, the common council, to find common ground. They want you to settle with me. I'm ready, willing, and able to sit down and try and settle. They want to try and move Wall Street forward. Moving forward is not possible unless we can find a way to work together. What does the city of Norwalk have to lose by spending 1 day in court mediation? It seems like such an obvious and easy idea to try. We already used court mediation once before in this case. It was a success. We negotiated an agreement to settle the preliminary injunction. The preliminary injunction had been going on and on for 1.5 years. We spent 1 day and we settled our disagreements. And the public parties were very reluctant to try mediation back then too. Mario really didn't want to go. He gave many similar reasons that he's giving now. Milligan has not given us a plan in writing, blah, blah, blah. Just the same. The court mediators are very good at bringing parties together. I have like 2 sentences left. They do it all the time. Even if mediation is not a total success, it can help narrow the issues. It should be clear by now that I think I'm right and I believe that I will win the lawsuit. So you might wonder why I want to try mediation. The main reason is that I very much care about Wall Street and all the people that are involved in the area. I talk to them every day. I'm working very hard to improve the area. I also know how long it takes to battle in court and how expensive it is. No matter how the outcome of the court case ends up, number one, it will be probably appealed by either party, and the taxpayers end up losing just by being in the fight.
3 minutes.
Okay, the money going to attorneys can instead go to improving the area. As
Mr. Milligan,
leaders,
you're at 3
taxpayers,
minutes. If you would start wrapping it up,
sentence.
please.
As leaders, taxpayers, and Norwalk citizens, please demand that your attorneys make an effort to settle the lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Milligan. Mr. Manzi, is there anybody else signed up to speak?
No, there is not, Mayor Lee.
Ms. King, do you have any correspondence for the council? Ms. King? Ms. King, do you have any correspondence for the council?
I do not. No.
Is there any
no.
council person that has any correspondence that he or she feels should be read into the record? Seeing none, then we will close public participation and we will move on to the next category. We have no resignations or appointments. There will be some at the next meeting. I do have a couple of people who have been recommended. Thank you to the council people that have put names forward. Under Mayor's remarks, just very briefly. One is, you know that we are still in a red zone in the state of Connecticut, and our case numbers are getting higher and higher every single day. I believe right now, out of the 169 municipalities, there's 166 or 167 that are also in the red zone. And this is a very, very serious time. Thank you to the council. We held a special meeting last week that allows the city of Norwalk to participate in the vaccine program. And I just spoke with Council President Sachinelli today to talk about putting together a task force or an ad hoc team that will work on the logistics for administering the vaccine. Once we get clear indication from the state of Connecticut, I want to make sure that we learn from the difficulties that we're having with regard to administering the COVID-19 tests and the number of people that line up to get the tests. I want to work with the health department. Mr. Sachinelli's, I believe, is going to serve on the committee. I believe he's also asked Mr. Hoovelman to sit on the committee. Certainly any council person, and Mr. Sachinelli, bear with me, obviously, if any council person wishes to engage, by all means. We're looking to have the health department, our chief of community services, as well as me, my chief of staff, and somebody from perhaps, well, hopefully from the Board of Education, so that we can work with our partners, including CVS and other healthcare providers who will be able to administer the vaccine under the governor's new executive order that just came out. And we want to make sure that we get it right and that we administer the vaccine in a timely fashion in the order that is anticipated, with essential healthcare workers at the top of the list, elderly citizens as well, people with underlying health issues, and so on. Once we get the guidance from the state of Connecticut, we'll make sure that we put it in proper place. And make sure that we have all the logistical things for implementation in place. And lastly, well, I don't know if there's going to be a second meeting in December. I know there very well may be, but I do want to wish our Jewish community a happy Hanukkah. Coming up this Friday is the beginning of Hanukkah. Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening early, I will be meeting with Rabbi Yeshua Hecht, who will once again have a menorah on City Hall property that we've had now for the past 2 years. He's going to be erecting it. He's gone through the proper paperwork with the city clerk's office, and he will be erecting it, I believe, tomorrow or Thursday. Any council people that wishes to join, please let me know. I'll send you the time. I don't even have it yet, but he's going to send it to me. So again, a very happy Hanukkah to our Jewish community. And if we have a second meeting, I will give the Christmas wishes there. But if we don't, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, I guess. But so that's all I have. Mr. Sachinelli, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And actually, it is looking likely that we will be canceling the second meeting this month. So,
Okay, well, Merry Christmas.
and I'm going to take the opportunity to wish everybody happy holidays as well.
And happy Kwanzaa.
Thank you.
Tonight, the consent calendar is going to be read by Ms. Revolus. But if there's no objections, I'd like to suggest that we change the order of the agenda and move the executive session to the end. Is that okay with everybody? All right, fantastic. With that, I'm going to hand it off to you, Ms. Revolus.
Okay, thank you. So 7, Common Council. 7A, Public Works Committee. 7A1, authorizing the purchasing agent to issue a purchasing order to DeGrasse Ford LLC, Plainville, CT, for the purchase 2020 Ford Escape for the price not to exceed $23,873.80. Account noted. Note, accounts noted. 7A3, authorizing that Mayor Harry W. Riling to execute a 2-year extension to the April 2019 agreement for pavement management and consulting services between the City of Norwalk and Venice Higgins Bristol Inc., VHB, for an annual sum not to exceed $250,000 per year. Accounts noted. 7B, Land Use and Building Management Committee. 7B1, authorizing that Mayor Harry W. Riling to execute an amendment to the agreement with Construction Solution Group, LLC, for programs management services for the Maritime Aquarium Functional Replacement Program for an additional amount not to exceed $97,469. Funds are available from the state functional replacement account noted. 7B2A, authorizing that, I did say land and use, yeah. Authorizing that Mayor Harry W. Riling to execute an agreement with NAC Industries Inc., for renovation of the old redevelopment agency office for use service for a total not to exceed $52,400, accounts noted. 7B2B, authorizing the Office of Building Management to issue change order on contracts for a total not to exceed $5,240. 7C, Health and Public Safety Committee, 7C1, authorizing that Mayor Harry W. Riling to execute an agreement with RJI Consulting to provide regional hazardous material training for the regional hazardous material team. That's it. That's it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Revelous.
All right. You're up.
I'll take a roll call vote on the consent calendar as read. Counselor Burnett,
Aye.
Counselor Johnson,
Aye.
Counselor Langella,
Aye.
Counselor Sacchinelli, aye. Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Huvelman,
Aye.
Counselor Roberts,
Aye.
Counselor Revelous,
Yes.
Counselor Young,
Yes.
Counselor Kites,
Yes.
Counselor Theorides,
Yes.
Counselor Keegan,
Yes.
Counselor Serenides,
Yes.
Counselor Livingston,
Yes.
and Counselor Shanahan.
Yes.
It's unanimous. Mr. Mayor, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sacchinelli. Now, I understand that we have moved the executive sessions to the end of the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this next item, Mr. Serenides, item 7, 2A and 2B.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Items 7.2A and B under the Public Works Committee. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Riling, to enter into an agreement with Deering Construction, Inc. for State Project 102-350 Norwalk River Valley Trail Phase 2 Federal Aid Project number PEDS 222 for an amount not to exceed $2,924,135.11. Federal TA grant accounts noted. Authorize the Chief of Operation and Public Works to execute orders on the contract with Deering Construction, Inc. for State Project 102-350 Norwalk River Valley Trail Phase 2 Federal Aid Project number PEDS 222 for an amount not to exceed $292,413.50. Federal TA grants accounts noted. I'd like to move the item and briefly speak on it.
Mr. Serenides, go right ahead.
I'd just like to say I'm very pleased to see this project finally get to the construction portion that we're at right now. Public Works worked really hard on the project itself and attaining the federal grants that are going to pay for it. 80% from the state and 20% matched from the city. Anthony Carr, Mike Yosak, Vanessa Valderez have put a lot of time and effort into this project, and I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the Norwalk River Valley Trail for Norwalk.
Thank you, Mr. Serenides. Any further comment? Mr. Langella.
Thank you, Mayor. I would also like to second George's comments. I know how much time and effort went into this and how important it is to for our city. So thank you so much from the Department of Public Works as well too for everyone's hard efforts.
We
Thank
also
you.
have Mr.
sorry.
Carr on tonight and Mr. Yosak for any questions or any additional information anybody would like.
Any further discussion, comment? I don't see any. Just kind of quickly, I mean, this is an absolutely wonderful project that is finally starting to come to fruition. It's just a little story time. When I was 15 years old, two of my friends and I walked from Ward Street and Main Avenue up to where the Danbury Mall is now and back in one day on the old Route 7. So it would certainly have been a lot easier had this been in place. So I'm looking forward to it. Not that I'm going to try it again, but all the hard work for Ms. Valdez, Mr. Carr, and people and the council, the council committee, people who had applied for the grants, and for the NRVT committee. So thank you all. And with that, if there's no further comment, I think it's appropriate for Ms. King, if you would take a roll call vote.
Mr. Burnett,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Langella,
Yes.
Mr. Sacchinelli,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Huvelman,
Aye.
Mr. Roberts,
Aye.
Ms. Revolis,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Kides,
Yes.
Mr. Theodorides,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Cyrenaides,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Shanahan,
Yes.
15 yes. You have a unanimous vote.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the council. I now need a motion to go into executive session. Ms. Shanahan moves. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We are now going to go into executive session. We'll have to click out of this one and enter into the session as provided for us. All right, we got to get back on air.
Yep, we're back.
Okay, so we are out of executive session. The time is now 8:53 p.m. During executive session, no motions were made, no votes were taken. Now we have general counsel business, Mr. Sacchinelli, item 5A1.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We reappointment of Brian Candela Esquire as Assistant Corporation Counsel. We have a motion. Ms. Shanahan, thank you.
I'd like to move this, and may I speak to it, Mr. President?
Yes, please.
That'd be great. I would love to enthusiastically support the renomination of Brian Candela as Assistant Corporation Counsel. I've worked closely with Brian for the last year as he's staffed to our Ordinance Committee. And no matter how busy he is with other matters for our city, and he is very busy with other matters for our city, he is always available to our committee to explain those laws that we're drafting. He's a fabulous draftsman himself. He provides really comprehensive and understandable explanations to the public about the law that we are working on. He is just he's indispensable, I think, to our city. And I am really very enthusiastic on his reappointment to this position.
Thank you. Further discussion? Mr. Livingston.
Thank you. I want to echo Ms. Shanahan's comments. In fact, I was going to use the word indispensable as well. I've had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Candela for several years now as a member of the Ordinance Committee, and he is indispensable to the committee and to the city. I mean, his assistance in implementation of the noise ordinance, of the plastic bag, of the styrofoam has been amazing. He has answered constituent questions, answered our questions, and he never says no. It's amazing to have him there. I sometimes wonder where he gets all this time and energy, but he is an amazing contributor and a great asset to the city. So I heartily recommend his reappointment.
Thank you. Further discussion? All right, I will call a roll call vote. Counselor Burnett,
Aye.
Counselor Johnson,
Aye.
Counselor Langella,
Yes.
Counselor Sacchinelli, yes. Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Huvelman,
Aye.
Counselor Roberts,
Aye.
Counselor Revelous,
Aye.
Counselor Young,
Yes.
Counselor Kaitis,
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Theorides,
Yes.
Counselor Keegan,
Yes.
Counselor Serenides,
Yes.
Counselor Livingston,
Yes.
Counselor Shanahan.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Good. Thank you, Mr. President. And congratulations to Mr. Candela, who is an absolute asset to the city of Norwalk. I need one more motion. Mr. Roberts, I'll give it to you. Motion to what?
Motion to adjourn,
Motion
Mr.
to
Mayor.
adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned at 8:57. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night,
Happy holidays,
everybody.
everyone.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holiday.
Happy holidays.